Hello everyone, this is Linda Timian, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This video will show you how to assemble my March 2026 Thank You for Your Order Fun Fold Card Kit. It is a interlocking accordion fun fold. This design was originally created by Terry Gaines, my upline director. In your kit, you will find 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock, and another piece of cardstock that's been scored 5 times. You'll have a slightly smaller 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock that's been texturized, and also 2 white squares. One has been texturized. These are 3 by 3. There will be a matte and sentiment layer. There will be 2 die cuts, and these die cuts and the stamp that I'm using and the embossing folder that I'm using are all from the Artistically Inked bundle and Designer Series paper. So it was a suite a few years back, and I'm using the Best Wishes from the stamp set. I'm using the painted embossing folder and 2 of the dies from the die set. I'm also using, for this piece project, I'm using a bright pink stamp. You'll also have a piece of ribbon and some gold colored or champagne colored sequins or rhinestones. Then you'll also have 1 piece of Designer Series paper that's been scored, folded, and die cut. And I used the stitched rectangles for that die cut. Now the project that I'm showing you here that I'm going to be working on is this bright polished pink and floral pattern. You may have a set that is in this jade and granny apple green or pear pizzazz. There's different greens colors in black. Or you may have this gold stripe with this marbled peach color with black. You might have this veined pink marble with gold die cuts with pink and white. Or you might have kind of a combination. We've got pink and white and gold and this colored paper. So all of them, of the different sets that I put together, they all coordinate. Hope you like them. And so we'll get started, I think, by working with the ribbon and the texturized piece of cardstock. I'm just going to set this stuff aside. We're going to use that one and a little later that one. So I am not a very good ribbon tire, so I did watch a video by Simple Stamping. Her name's Connie. She's a demonstrator, and she, let's see, showed how to tie ribbon. So we go left over right and pull this way, okay? And I'm using this block just to have something to wrap around, and you should have plenty. And then so you pull it at right angles, and then holding the top piece, just kind of tug this to the left, and you'll see how that kind of tightens up the knot a little bit. And I'm going to hold my finger there and bring this one down, and it's going to go top, over, around, and through. And I'll see if I can do that. Like I said, I am ribbon challenged. Okay, and I'm pulling that. This makes a nice flat knot, and I'm going to pull only the left side and tighten that up. That way it makes a kind of a flat square knot. It doesn't get all bunchy. Just pull the left side, and just, you'll have some long tails. That's okay. You're going to trim those off. And then I'm just going to slip that off And since I want this, I have a, you know, like a loop now, but I'm going to snip that so that it can wrap around to the back of this card. And so I want this to be underneath that, but probably oh, right about there, I think. So I need about, I'd say this much to wrap around, and I'll have plenty to wrap around the other way. So I'm going to take my scissors and snip this about here. And you can see now I've got plenty to wrap around. You can take this up. I'm going to put some tape runner. This is going to hold the ribbon. Might bring this in just so that it doesn't stick to my paper. So I've got my two tails here, and I'm going to wrap this end and this end. So you just line that up the way you like. And there. Okay. And then I'm going to trim this and make this about like that. And that is my knot. And now I'm going to take this, has been die cut, but it has adhesive sheet. And so you'll need to remove the adhesive sheet, and it can get a little tricky getting all of that off. I kind of started mine ahead of time so that I wouldn't have too much trouble. And that is then backed in adhesive. And I think I'm going to put it this way, kind of interwoven with this a little bit, like that. And like that. And then I'm going to take and put tape runner, and I've already done that. I've got it around these four sides, and I'll probably put a little more over this just to make sure that is all going to stay down when I lay it on top of this piece. Okay. Okay, and that is going to be, that's the front of the card. And then we have the back of the card, and in between those we're going to put this piece. Okay, it's actually going to go like this and open this way. So we're going to adhere this to here, to the right side, and this to the left side of the card. So let me get my tape runner. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to use the edge of my paper trimmer here. I'm going to line up, I've got my adhesive here, and this is going to line up right here, and I want it to be flush on both ends and up right up to the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on this other side. And we're going to run the top of the card that and like that. So the card now opens like that. The next step is we're going to adhere this edge and this edge here and here, right here and right here. So first, before we put adhesive on, I want to get some good creases in here using my bone folder. So those two go in like, go mountain, this is valley, and this is mountain and mountain. And so you end up with a piece looking like this, okay? Now, I'm going to put some tape runner here, and I'm going to fold that all the way under so that you can see this tape runner here, and it's going to go through here. And again, I'm going to use my paper trimmer to line this up. We'll center that. And I got that. That's nice and flush there, but notice that's not what's adhered there. It's this last flap that's adhered. Okay, so let's do that again. And we're going to turn that around. I'm going to put my adhesive just along that flap right there. But I'm going to fold the whole thing in so that this is flat, and I'm going to go about 1 1/8 inches in. And that is the interlocking card. So we've got this part to the front done, and we just have now to decorate these two panels. So let's put this aside, and we have our textured piece with our leaf design here. And we've got a white piece. This is just where you can sign the card. You can leave it blank. I'm going to leave mine blank, or you can stamp another sentiment here. But I am going to stamp best wishes on this piece. And I'm going to use that bright pink. And do that as best I can. Hopefully I get that. Yeah, that's centered good enough. And I'm just going to put that on with a piece of adhesive onto this piece here. Best wishes. And now this piece, I actually am going to cut it apart in pieces. This also has self-adhesive sheet, wax paper on the back. So once I peel off the wax paper, I have adhesive. And I did one ahead of time so that I can kind of have something to copy, because then this is going to go right here and cover up all the little stems. But I wanted kind of a pattern to go with this. So I'm going to cut here and here, about like that. This one kind of down like that, and then this one. And you can do whatever you want. I would stay within the 3x3 square because of the interaction of the card. So I simply have to peel this self-adhesive sheet off. And try and position this similar to what I've done up here. I'm going to try and start at the stem. That seems to pull better this way than going against the grain. And up into the corners there. Like that. And we'll put one about here. And one more. And these I didn't try and start ahead of time, so there we go. I think if you just go and pull from the edge, you can kind of pull that away fairly nicely. And right there. Okay, so got that similar there. And I'm just going to put some tape runner on the back of my sentiment. Remember, I'm not using any dimensionals. And I'm going to put it right about there. And then I'm going to put some on the back here. And this should have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around there. And we'll pull it then through this way to the right, and put adhesive on the back of the right square of cardstock and kind of get that centered there too. Equal spacing all the way around. There we go. But that is the interlocking accordion fold card. Kind of a mechanical thing. And then I also gave you a few rhinestones. Let's not forget the bling. I'm going to put them on the front. I'm going to use these gold pieces that I have for this one here and here. So the white and gold and pink and the accordion, interlocking accordion card. Okay. Oh, I see what's happening. Yep. When you close your card, kind of be careful. Maybe close this side first. If this slides along here, it might slide underneath some of these edges. So just pull it this way and then close it. So that is the interlocking accordion fold fun fold card kit. Thank you for your order in March of 2026, and thank you for watching.